What's up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Heel Culture. Thank you for joining me. This episode is going to be mainly my review slash thoughts on Wrestlemania week in Vegas, which I ended up going, so I can do this. And yes, I did wear this shirt on purpose. Got to be a little cheesy. All right, I'm pretty much going to talk about WWE World, SmackDown, Raw, Wrestlemania, and a little bit of Vegas in general. So bear with me. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, but I can't promise anything. So quickly, Vegas is Vegas. It is colorful. It is expensive. Luckily, the weather over there was not crazy hot, so thank God for that. I ended up staying at the Westgate, which was pretty nice. But yeah, if you plan on going to Vegas, it is expensive as fuck. For example, a train ride was $6. I ended up buying a New York pizza, one slice, with a power rate. It cost me like $20. So yeah, and I expect to see slot machines everywhere, even the airport. I was surprised. So they have slot machines at the airport. I think my favorite thing about Vegas, which is kind of like the only place I went to, was Fremont Street. I'll show you a little video. So this was pretty much Fremont Street, very colorful, mainly like entertainment. They had a zip line, which I ended up doing, and the reason was WWE World. My so Thursday I met Seth Rollins, photo op, and then Tamatanga. Tamatanga was really nice. So if you ever think about meeting Tamatanga, definitely do so because he was really nice. And then Friday I had Rhea Ripley, Ricky Saints, and Finn Balor. And Finn Balor is one of the reasons why I went to Vegas in the first place. I don't really do autographs. I'd never do them, but I ended up buying two autographs for Finn because I was like, it's Finn. I wanted him to sign my shirt and my belt, which he did. So yes, he did. I don't know if you guys can see that, but he did sign it. So that's Friday. Saturday, I had no intention of going to WWE World. It was gonna be my one day to like relax in the morning, but that didn't end up happening. I ended up getting, another free bracelet for Saturday. Also, my Friday bracelet was also free. So shout out to everybody who gave me a free bracelet. You saved me a lot of money. So I went to Saturday and I said I'm only going for one person all, and that's Carmelo Hayes. So I ended up meeting Carmelo Hayes, which is great. It was free, and then boom, I was like, I gotta go get ready for WrestleMania. Sunday was my busy day. It's gonna be a long day. Um, I ended up meeting Ethan Page, Grayson Waller, Naomi, Stephanie Vaquer, and Austin Theory. Um, and Austin Theory was the other half of the reason why I went to Vegas. Um, I had no intention of going to Vegas or WrestleMania. I was like, I'm gonna skip it because it's Vegas and it's expensive, but also it's pretty far, so I had no intention. But once they announced the photo ops for WWE World, I got major FOMO. And when the tickets were released, my friend Carrie was like, listen, I got Finn and Austin in my cart. Do you want them? I'll buy them right now. I was like, fuck. And I said, yeah. And the rest is history. I ended up going to Vegas all because of Austin Theory and Finn Balor. So, my favorite moment of the whole weekend was Austin Theory knowing who I was or who I am. Um, when I went up, for my photo, he was like, my guy, this is my guy. He was telling everybody, like, this is my guy. And I was like, oh shit, like, he knows who I am. He's like, thank you so much for supporting me and my career all these years. And I was shook because in my head, I was going to tell him, listen, I've been supporting you since Evolve Wrestling, but he kind of already told me all that. So thank you, Austin, for that moment. It was great. And yeah, that made my weekend. So my final day at WWE World was Monday, and I only had Dominic Mysterio and Jada Parker. So easy day. Um, that's pretty much it for Monday. But overall, WWE World, if you haven't gone to it, it's okay to go like for your first time. But for somebody that's gone already twice, 2 years, um, I had no high expectations. I honestly, it is what I thought it was gonna be. Um, it was cool that they brought the NXT matches live back, so that's pretty cool. But overall, it was great. I mean, the photo op lines long as you expected them. They weren't crazy long, but they were long. And overall, kind of like meh. That's the only way I can describe it is meh. So that's WWE World for you. Um, I will say though, Friday morning they had Roman Reigns and the Pat McAfee show, so that was pretty dope. I got up early, got there 2 hours early from opening just to see Roman. So that was pretty cool. And then on Monday, that John Cena line was fucking crazy. That shit was long, like it was long, long, the longest line of the whole, week. I think the second longest line might have been Trish Stratus because she was there for 2.5 hours. So Trish Stratus was killing it. Enough with WWE World. Let's get to the good stuff. And I am reviewing the shows right now just because I was able to actually watch them on TV when I got home. So I kind of saw like the difference between how it felt in person, how it looked, and how it looked on TV. So bear with me. Friday Night SmackDown. Ended up getting a last minute ticket. That AXS website sucks, but whatever. This was pretty much my view. It wasn't obviously, floor, but my main goal for this trip was not to waste as much money. Kind of happened, but kind of didn't, but whatever. Overall, good show. I'm just glad Carmelo Hayes won, especially because he's from Boston. So that was great. And then the segment between the women, I love how they kind of combined the three-way with Jade and Naomi. So that was pretty cool. And that's all I can remember. There were some matches, but honestly, I didn't really care about them. I did try to get some pictures, but my iPhone Zoom sucks. So, and then that segment with John Cena and Cody, I feel like it was repetitive, but whatever. Overall, pretty decent show. WrestleMania Night 1. I was able to get my seat at 2:30 in the morning that Saturday. They released some pretty like really good seats. This was actually my view. I was right next to the stage, and it cost me like 300 something, maybe four something, and I ended up getting the souvenir ticket, so obviously a little bit more. WrestleMania 1 was great in person, and the only reason I say that is because if you've never experienced WrestleMania, you're a wrestling fan, I highly suggest you do that. It's like a once in a lifetime experience. Um, I even got emotional when it started, and that's a whole different story. But yeah, uh, the first two matches, as everybody else has said, they kind of sucked. Jade versus Naomi was great, and even on TV, they did a really good job. So I don't know why people are bashing that it wasn't a good match because it was. LA Knight versus Jacob was good. Actually, way better on TV. I actually saw it on TV, and I was like, wow, they did their thing. Charlotte versus Tiffany, I think was great. I think that was the second best match of the night. Even on TV, I was like, why are people saying that Charlotte and Tiffany was messy? There was like a couple of spots, but they weren't like crazy to be like, oh, that was messy. And then people were saying that Charlotte was sandbagging. Like, I don't think she was, but everybody has their opinion. Everybody just hates Charlotte. I was kind of voted from both, so I didn't really care who won, just because I like both of them. I actually thought Charlotte was going to win, but surprise. Tiffany won. Ray Phoenix versus Americano. Ray Mysterio did get hurt the night before, so I can see why it was kind of like a last minute thing. The match was what it was. I'm not gonna really comment on that, but all right. The main event. Um, Before the show even started, I got interviewed by I forgot their name, but he interviewed me. He was asking me like, what do I think was going to happen at the main event? Who was going to win? And I told him Seth Rollins was going to win. I was like, he's going to win. The story is there. Roman and CM Punk are going to get distracted by Paul, and then Seth is going to take advantage of that. So that main event was crazy. I think I was the only one in my section like really rooting for Seth. Um, So that was great that he won. I think the match overall was great. In person, it was great, and then I saw it on TV. Even like it was amazing. So I can see why it was like the main event. They deserve the main event because that match was crazy. I liked it. I really loved it actually, and I love that Seth Rollins won. So yeah. After the show is done, obviously I'm still waiting because I'm also taking pictures. If you haven't seen my pictures, definitely do so. Go on Instagram at Brandon J 93. You can see all the pictures that I took for night one. Way back home was hell. If you've seen all those videos where it took forever to get on to just the bridge that's like feet away from Allegiant Stadium, it's true. It took like 20 minutes just to get to that bridge. It's a walking bridge, so we don't know what happened. And then, a couple blocks after, maybe like 5 blocks down to where I guess the strip is, the escalators, that was also hell. So if you've seen the videos of the guys going up the escalators that are going down, I was there and I watched the whole thing. Like that was hell. Getting home was hell. So yeah, WrestleMania night 2. My whole plan for Vegas was to buy tickets the day of, just because, as everybody knows, the ticket prices are fucking insane now. The whole morning I was on my phone waiting for tickets and tickets and tickets, and nothing was coming up. The prices were not coming down. So I was like, fuck. I'm like, let me just, do my meet and greets and then head to WrestleMania. I was at Allegiant Stadium. I had a ticket, and then Ticketmaster kind of like fucked up, so I lost that, and I just kept losing tickets. Um, I didn't have a ticket by like 3:30. I did not get a ticket until like 4:15. Yeah, so I was outside of the arena just waiting and waiting, refreshing, and unfortunately, I did miss the women's triple threat match, which sucks. But I got to my seat at exactly 4:30, and I was able to see EO Sky win. So that's something, right? But yeah, waiting for last minute tickets. It works, but for night 2, none of the prices went down, which sucks. So, um, yeah, I don't want to talk about the price. But yeah, that was night 2. All right, so once I got in, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, great match. I'm just glad Drew won because he deserved it. Um, it's a street fight. Thank God we got some sort of like stipulation match, because I was rooting for Logan Paul to win too. So kind of glad he won. He's just good, and that was kind of my prediction. Women's triple threat was amazing. I saw it on TV. Definitely like 5 stars, 6 stars, whatever you want to give it. It was amazing. The women's tag team match was I didn't really like it. Becky Lynch was predictable. I didn't like that they won, especially what happened the next night. And I feel like Liv and Raquel deserved their moment, but it is what it is. I didn't really expect much from that tag team match. Fatal 4-way. I was really surprised that Dom was getting that reaction, but I am glad he won. I was rooting for Finn and Dom, so if it wasn't going to be Finn, I'm just glad it was Dom. Main event was kind of lackluster. I was just happy to be there at John Cena's last match, and I was rooting for him. Um, I didn't expect like a crazy amazing match, but it was kind of meh. Like everybody knows, like it wasn't horrible, like the worst, like people are saying, but it wasn't that great. It was overhyped. But I'm glad he won. So I'm glad I was there live to see his last match at WrestleMania, and to him breaking the record. So that was great. Overall, night 2 was better than night 1, both in person and on TV. So yeah. Thankfully, this time, once they kind of like finished the show, I dipped out of there because I was like, I'm not going through what I went through last night, and I was able to get home to the hotel really quick. So thank God for that. All right, the Monday night after WrestleMania, the Raw after Mania, was just as great in person as it was on TV. I watched it last night, and the only thing that I didn't like, that I didn't care about, is the reason why I'm giving it a kind of like a 9 out of 10 or 8.5, is one, that Jay celebration. It was kind of corny. It went on for too long just for them to come out and celebrate. Like it was just, that could have been done backstage. And then 2 was Rusev returning. I don't care about Rusev. He's boring. He was boring when he was on WWE before, boring on AEW. He's gonna be boring now, so I don't care about Rusev. So that's why I gave the episode a 9 out of 10. Stephanie versus Io, I did not expect that, but that was amazing. I'm just upset that it ended the way it did, but I get it because they don't want to make anybody look weak. Dominic versus Penta, they have like the best chemistry. So I expected a great match, and that's what they gave us. Opening match, the women's tag team match was great. I feel like they should have had that at WrestleMania because this match was way better than WrestleMania. And Liv and Raquel winning, it's kind of stupid. The whole thing that they lost the night before just to win tonight, just to win that night on Monday. But whatever, it all led to Becky turning heel, which was great. Um, I'm just curious to see what character Becky brings out. Hopefully, it's big time Bex because that was an amazing character. So we'll see. And the closing segment, of course, Seth Rollins. So obviously, I was happy that he was there. CM Punk coming out, Roman Reigns. I don't know why I thought Roman Reigns was kind of like done because he usually, once it's WrestleMania, he's gone for a while. But kind of surprised that he was there, but it was great. I got some video, got some photos. Honestly, the photos suck, but whatever. Um, but yeah, that whole segment was great, and the fact that Braun Breaker has aligned with Seth Rollins, it's great. I think that whole segment was perfect, especially Braun Breaker just like causing havoc. Yo, he speared CM Punk, he destroyed Roman Reigns. Like this is a great duo, so I can't wait to see where that goes. The shows were great. When I did watch on TV, my only thing was Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, they suck, dude. Like Michael Cole, I don't know if it's the age, but he be calling some moves that are not even what they are. So he called, I think, a crucifix that somebody did, an arm drag, and then Pat McAfee was just like saying some stupid stuff. So him and Michael Cole, they suck. They need to. I don't know. I'm just glad Gunther choked him out. So that's all I can say. So yeah, overall, Vegas was a fun time. WrestleMania was a great time. The fact that people are saying that the crowd sucked was it's kind of surprising because I thought the crowd for night one was really loud. Um, Maybe on my section or wherever I was able to, hear, but they were really loud. So I can't believe people were saying, oh, the crowd sucks. But maybe the crowd ringside sucked, but everybody else was pretty loud because they were loud the whole night. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much my review. WWE World was what I expected. SmackDown and Raw were great. Well, at least Raw was. SmackDown was okay, and then WrestleMania was WrestleMania. So I'm kind of content. I'm glad that I went, even though like now I'm financially fucked. But I'm glad I went. Um, it was a great experience. Oh, would I do Vegas again? Probably not, just because it is expensive. I already experienced Vegas. I already experienced WrestleMania in Vegas. I don't see myself going back. So yeah, that's pretty much my WrestleMania week review and thoughts. You know, Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to follow my socials on Instagram, Brandon J93, BJR Visuals, Heel Culture Podcast. Wow, I think the accent just came out. um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Um, if you went to WrestleMania, what was your experience? If you saw it on TV, like what did you think? So just let me know in the comments or wherever you're seeing this. But yeah, that was pretty much my WrestleMania week, and that's it overall. Good time. I think I'm gonna give the weekend maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. Not too bad, right? Not too bad.